hello, hello, hello. Hi Pokemon, hi Ty, hi Meridian. Nice to see you, Meridian. Hello, with Sword. Hello, Cogs, right? Nice to see you. Hello, Gideonir. Hello, Useful Reptile. Hello, LM Dragon. Oh my gosh, it's the Ready Steady. Hello, it's an honor to meet you, sir. It's an absolute honor. Hello, Mycesis? Myces? I don't know what that means. Something with a mushroom, maybe? Hello, Ginger. Hello, Keel. Hello, Sai. Hello, hello to, Oh, wow. Hi, Yuki. Hopefully everything is going good. Hello, Escargo. Nice to see you again in chat. Hello, Jove. And yeah, hello to Alex. So, we are Gouda to go, I believe. Yeah, it's a weak start. Um, Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for today's greetings, and oh my gosh, congratulations on your 105 stream streak. That's absolutely insane, Brink. Um, but yes, hello, salutations, and greetings. Let's get started. So, today, what we are going to be working on is we are going to be making a self-reading dice. So essentially, oh my gosh, I did not. Hold on one second. I did not clean something, and it is going to bother me for the rest of the stream if I don't clean it right now, so give me a second. But yes, did everyone have a pretty good weekend? Because I had a fairly good weekend. I was dead to society, as I typically am during weekends. I played video game. I play the video game. Besides that, you know, I don't really know life outside. My 8-year-old IMEs died. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Okay. So, as I was saying before, we are going to be working on trying to make a self-reading die. What video game? I was playing EverQuest with my dad. So I was just playing a bunch of EverQuest with my dad, which is an old MMO. Dude, I'm pretty sure I played that game before I knew how to spell or type. So like my first character names were like legitimately not even English. Anyways, your stream is the guinea pig for my new IEMs right now. Oh, okay, nice. I love being a guinea pig, is what I would say. Okay. Anyways, I need to straighten these pens out. But yes, I'm so happy to see you guys today. Dude, wait, I don't know. I just get like such a burst of energy whenever I start streaming. Like, oh, I get to talk with friends. I get to have a great time. Was your dad streaming the game? No, my dad was not streaming the game. My dad is not a streamer. While we have joked that he does have a VTube model. Well, he does have a VTube model. He does not stream. Extroverts be like, I'm not sure if I'm an extrovert. And also, I've never really taken much stock in that. Do you guys, like, know the corporate astrology signs? Have you heard of the corporate astrology signs, like, the Myers-Briggs test or whatever? If not, don't worry about it. I'm going to explain. The what? The Myers-Briggs personality test? AKA the corporate astrology test. Yes. I've heard them called that. Oh, yeah. There's like 8 different tests. Yes, there are several different tests, but this is like the Myers-Briggs, like INTJ or whatever thingy. Oh, yeah, all this psychometric baloney. Yes, mine is wrong. Exactly. Int J and the like, yes. Yes. According to that, like, if you guys... hold on, I'm gonna turn on the soldering iron because we're gonna have to process these guys here. I'm an IMDb on the test. I'm not sure if that's possible. Ready? I only know the int J sodium meme. Wait, what's the int J sodium meme? I'm not familiar. Okay, hold on. Sorry, I had to connect up my stuff. Okay. Ty, unpin that. Thank you. Have you ever seen those really abstract tests, the vibes you get from the images and how you're supposed to answer that? Yes, I've seen those tests. Wait, are you talking with, like... This is a weird way of putting it, but are you talking about with the blue people? Like, for some reason, like, the tests have, like, blue people? Jove, is that what you're talking about? Or are you talking about, like, an ink blot, or a Rorschach, like Reddy is talking about? Oh yeah, no, the blue people ones. Okay, yeah. The blue people ones is kind of cursed, bro. It's kind of cursed. But yeah, I'm in such a good mood. Hi, 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 hi. Hi, hello, hi, hello. Why didn't the bonk emote work? 1 second. Give me a second to figure out why the bonk emote didn't work. Random. But hello, Random Logic. How's it going? Also, how do you afford the bonk every time? That part is wild. What do I need? What do I need? I need this alive. It's the only thing I do and I don't miss streams. I see, I see. Wait, what's your stream streak at right now, if you don't mind me asking? I was in fact required to update my software is why. But yes, so it's not currently active. It's the only thing I do and I don't miss streams. Okay. Okay, hold on. Please hold. I am just going to turn off the redeem for now because I think it would take me a few minutes, unfortunately. So, we will do that later. We will do that later. Okay, so, the idea here is that we are going to make a dice that you roll, and it is going to tell you what face it landed on. There are two general ways of approaching this, right? So the first way that came to mind is that, hey, we have a camera, so we can just look at the actual face that's being rolled, right? However, the second and more sinister thing is that we have this guy here, which is an MPU 6050. So this bad boy here gives us acceleration in both the X, Y, and Z. If we use it correctly, I believe we are technically able to get out of, wait, is that an accelerometer? Yes? It's an accelerometer, or IMU, or AMU, or little Gaia Areno. Hold on. Apologies, I'm also like... Give me a second, give me a second. Please hold. Okay, yeah, no, these aren't going to link. Okay, that's okay. But yes, so this is an accelerometer, so we are going to be reading this guy out with I2C and processing the output. I think we should only need one. I'm hoping we only need one to make this guy work, but we'll see. I'm going to solder two. Just a small aside. Hello, Ziv. Welcome in. Hopefully you're doing A-okay today. And also, hello, Alpha Mu. I forgot to say hi. So, we are unfortunately gonna have to sack these. So there's a strong possibility we aren't getting these back. Would you call this... Would this call for an extra small ESP? This may call for an extra small ESP, but we are just going to use a normal size one and 3D print and design our own enclosure for it. So, given that, let's go ahead and get started. Let's see. Let us see. But yes, this week should be a fun week for me, I suppose. Every week is a fun week. It's a fun week whenever I know what I'm making. And luckily, I did figure out what I'm making this week, so... So, yeah. Let's go. Exactly. Let's go indeed. Okay, I actually should probably use something else to prop it up. Too much. Probably too much. Shouldn't use a battery. Ho hum, hum ho. There we go. That looks better. Thank you, Useful Reptile, for the suggestion. Not sure if we're going with exactly what you suggested here, but let's go ahead and get this guy secured. So I'm going to solder it in place, and then we will proceed from there. Something important that I would like to note is that we are going to likely be adapting this onto a perf or a perforated board. So once we get it working on the breadboard, we're going to move it over. So yeah, I don't know. And the reason being is because I feel like it. Alright. Let's get this guy soldered, though. I suppose the foam layer is actually quite close to the height of the header layer plastic. Exactly. See, that's why they pay me the big bucks. Oh, thank you so much for, Thank you so much for following Allied Broom. I hope you have a good time while you're here. There are actually quite a few electronic hobbyists here on Twitch. I hope you have a good time for however long you are here. We are currently working on a self-reporting dice. So what we are currently doing is we are soldering an MPU 6050, which is an IMU, or an accelerometer, that reports its data over I²C. And hopefully we are going to be able to integrate this guy inside of a little self-contained unit and see if we can get it reporting correctly. That is the objective. How was your day, Oria? My day was pretty a-okay. They put me in the white room for most of my day, so I had plenty of time to think. That's probably why I'm so excited to talk with you all, because, dude, I don't get much socialization in the white room. You know, I don't get much socialization. I just kind of get, like, put in there. And unfortunately, the floor did attack me today, which was a little suboptimal in the current metagame. But that's okay. The joint's a little cold. Okay, there we go. Dang, the floor voices. So we are the voices for you? Yeah, you guys are the fun voices for me. Also, how's it going, Yuki? Hopefully all's been well with you. Let's get this guy open. Dang, floor is so rude, SMH. Yeah, dude, the floor is so rude. Also, dude, my current shoes didn't have any of the, like, white liquidy stuff, but now it does. Okay, so I'm new here. What do you mind, or what do you do for work, if you don't mind sharing? So, sure, Allied Broom. I'm an embedded software engineer. So I work in software engineering. I type on a keyboard all day, and I hope things work. They never do, and then I go home. That is my general MO. I went to school for biomedical engineering, which is like electrical engineering, but for the human body. So I have a fairly wide range of stuff. And thank you so much for following Cobalt Tiger PS8318. That solder joint looks fine. I think these are actually good. Yeah, these pass qual. These would pass qual. Hold on. I want to double check that these pass qual. You know, take a little extra time. Look at those beautiful guys. Look at them. They're beautiful. Except the INI. The INI is a little heavy. But everything else is pretty beautiful there. Okay, let's go ahead and do the other one. Then we are going to try to get the adaptation. Why the white room? You know, they just have to keep the dolphin in containment. So they have to keep me in containment long enough, you know? And that's the best way to keep me in containment. I wonder if there's a better way of mounting these. Hold on, I'm doing a bit of thinking. Oh well. And you're alive? Yeah, it's always nice to be alive. It is always nice to be alive, Yuki. Always. But yes, I also have a little bit of background in chemistry due to being in university for a year for it in chemical engineering, though I ended up switching majors because it was too boring. Fun fact, chemical engineering is omega boring. Then again, if there's a chemical engineer here, I'm so sorry. I don't think there's going to be any chemical engineers here, and I don't think a chemical engineer is going to... If there's actually a chemical engineer here, A, I'm sorry, and B, B, I don't think they would disagree. What exactly is chemical engineering? Okay, so chemical engineering is the engineering behind chemical industrial processes. So generally, if you're trying to make like certain systems to make different, different chemicals, you take in your base product, your other products, you determine what type of energy you need, what type of feedback systems you use, the general efficiency of those systems, and actually design it all the way through. So you take it from one product to another product through an entire process. It's not like necessarily boring, but it's very math intensive. It is extremely math intensive. Again, like some of the problems for setting up like industrial processes would be like 13 pages long for a single homework problem. And it was just absolutely brutal. I was pretty good at it. But yeah. Yeah. It was not my cup of tea. Chemistry versus chemical engineering. Why do math if you can do... Was this just a course, or did you transfer out of chemical engineering? So I transferred out of chemical engineering. So I took like Organic 2 as well, or Organic 1 and Organic 2. P-Chem, that type of stuff. Would not suggest out of 10. Because fun fact, my sister actually went to school. My oldest sister, the one that I don't talk to as much, went to school for chemical engineering, or not for chemical engineering, for chemistry, and regretted only getting chemistry. Did you get filtered by thermodynamics? No, I passed thermodynamics. Again, I got bored. I didn't fail any courses. Wait, did I fail any courses? No, I did not. Oh. Okay. I did not fail any chemistry courses or chemistry-related courses. So I was not filtered out by a chemistry course. I ended up swapping again because it was boring. Hey, for any engineers here, as someone who's going into MX shorthand for MX, remember we are the ones who deal with your products. You know what you all did. Software engineers are exempt because that stuff hates you and me equally. I see. Did you fail speech? No. What? What do you mean? What do you mean? Did I fail speech? What do you mean? I actually did pretty okay in speech. If we're talking like public speaking and presenting, I actually did fairly well at it. Well, you're short, so you couldn't see over the lectern. Okay, listen. Listen. That's rough. Or I failed all social. Okay. And also, hello, Dower Dodger Esquire. Welcome in. What was the highest math course you took? The rest was just physics and math methods, right? So I took differential equations. I took advanced... obviously, I did Calculus 1, Calculus 2, Calculus 3, Probability and Statistics, which is the prop stat that requires the calculus. I did differential equations, and then a class after that called Advanced Engineering Mathematics, and then I also did Advanced Computational Methods. And thank you for the hydration check. I will hydrate. But yes, I have a funny story about my calculus experience. Let's just say I'm not the best noodle at math. I'm not the best at passing tests is actually the main issue. Mechanical engineers, a bunch. Wait, is the 1, 2, 3 across different studies? Yes, so 1 is single variable calculus and mostly stats was a class that almost did me and long term helps being able to understand it for reading papers and stuff. So true, dude. Stats is so useful for reading papers and knowing about significance. It's also extremely useful in your workplace if you can take that knowledge that you learned and actually apply it to make convincing arguments. Also, I can already tell this solder joint's gonna be bad. It's unfortunate. Oh well. Can't do much about it? No. Hold on. Just gonna touch this up slightly. Okay, that's better. No VTubing. Wait. Isn't VTubing public... Wait, are you gonna say isn't VTubing public speaking? Hold on, I want to see what you said, Crow. Yeah, VTube is definitely public speaking. If only it could provide a job. I'm a pure mathematician with a comp sci and physics. Wait, what do you do for work if you don't mind me asking, Alpha Mew? I know you're a math VTuber, or math and science VTuber. What type of stuff do you do? I'm just not happy with these solder... Oh, that's dry. Hold on. I actually need to touch this up. Okay. So, I think this is the first... Actually, a lot of these are dry. Okay. I'm a geophysicist. Very cool. I know a little bit about rocks and minerals. I think this joint ADD is unfortunately dry, and I'm gonna have to touch it up a little. Yeah, that guy's looking a little dry. I'm gonna have to adjust that a bit. I'm a robotics teacher for children, so not complicated stuff yet, but I'm going back for my master's in pure engineering and pure math. Oh, okay, nice. I know a little bit about circuits, had one class on it, made a stoplight fun. Nice! Dude, listen, any circuits is good circuits, in my opinion. I don't have an overly... Actually, no, that's not true. I do have a lot of experience with circuits. I took 3 circuits? Wait. 3 circuits classes? I wouldn't say that's a lot of circuits classes, but I did take probably more than your average noodle. And it turns out that making circuits every week makes you pretty good at making circuits. Though, then again, if you ask me, like, Kirchhoff's, like, voltage and rules and ask me to derive stuff, I would cry. Okay, that's better. You shouldn't be dry. Okay. Let's go ahead and move this guy onwards and upwards. Holy. Okay. Let's go ahead and zoom this guy out. Oh yeah, wait, okay. It's been a while since I've told it. Or not like a while. Actually, it has been at least months since I've told this story. Okay. So, Alpha, I need you to say you're not going to judge me. I need you to say the words in chat. It's a legally binding agreement to say, I am not going to judge you. Okay? And then I will proceed with the story. Judging. Okay, we're going to need to set this up. In the meantime, I'm going to get this guy set up. Give me a moment. Honestly, it shouldn't matter which one I use. It's you, Alpha Mu, because you're math. So I want your word to say you are not going to judge me. Bruh, internet died the moment Ori shared her story. That's rough. Alpha Mu, I need you to say the words, I am not going to judge you. And press enter in Twitch chat. Before I continue. Oh, it's Alex with Alf. Alf? Oh, it's Alex? Wait, how is it... How is it Alex? I'm sorry, I don't... Alif? I will not judge you, though. Okay, Alif. Okay, I see. Okay, so... Back in school... Remember how I said I didn't... I may have said I did not... fail... Or I did not fail any chemistry-related courses. However, I did fail another related course. So, fun fact, before we get started, I failed Calculus 1, 2, and Calculus 3. I retook them, and I did end up passing them. But, dude, it's a story, which we're going to get into. But yes, so I managed to fail Calculus 1. I retook it, got a C-. I managed to fail Calculus 2, and then retook it, got a B+, and then I think I retook Calculus... What? Hold on 1 second. Trying to figure out an issue. I failed DiffEQ, no shame there. I got a PhD. Well, that's interesting. Okay. So what I was saying was, so partial differential equations twice. Yeah, that's fair. Calculus 2 is definitely the more difficult. I would say Calculus 2 is the most difficult class. But as I was saying, so Calculus 1, I took it and okay, so this is kind of... That's weird. Integration is awful. Calculus 3 is much easier than Calc 2. Yes, it definitely is. Okay, so as I was saying, with Calculus 1, I was in high school, okay? I was in high school. And I wanted to get... Okay, to be fair, dude, I was, like, probably the most hard-working high schooler in the history of history. Like, unironically. Or not, like, unironically, actually, that'd be my older sister. Or my middle sister. So I was a hard worker, and I wanted to get... I wanted to get a job. I already had a job as a hostess at a restaurant. However, I wanted to get a secondary job at a testing center where my sister worked, but that was at a college. So in order to get a job there, I needed to enter college. So in my like senior year of high school, I entered college so I could get a job at the testing center. And I ended up, originally I was going to take like college mathematics, which is like basically algebra 2. for those of you who may or may not be familiar with it. It's not like super advanced. So I was supposed to be taking that, right? So I went in, oh, codename Cherry VT. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for the raid, codename Cherry VT. Welcome in, raiders. I'm Oriana Aura. I'm a VTuber hybrid, human hybrid dolphin inventor. Currently, we are trying to make a mechanical self-reading dice. So essentially, you are going to be able to throw it, and it is going to tell you what it comes up with. To get that accomplished, we are going to be using our microcontroller and some accelerometers. But what were you guys up to? And thank you so much for the raid code name Cherry. Or just Cherry. Probably just Cherry. Probably just Cherry. What were you guys up to, though? Okay. I died a lot in Lethal Company. That's rough, buddy. That's rough. That's okay. We can't be gamers. Some of us are better gamers than others, and I'm not a good gamer. Hope you're having a fun stream. I pretty much just started streaming, so I'm having a great stream. I'm really happy to see people. Very, very happy. Happy to see. Happy to talk. So, yes, wait, did I... One second, let me make sure. Ow. Okay, yes, you very good. Okay. So we were just having a bit of story time about how I managed to fail Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Calculus 3. And hello, Monsieur Han. I assume it was you who maybe directed. What's the current project? A side reading dice? Yes, so the dice is going to be able to read itself. Where do you get the proto board and resistance stuff? It looks pricey. I get it off of Amazon, and usually I try to reuse components, though unfortunately these components are going to be sunk into this project. I wish I could read. Dude. Same. But yes. Yes. And make sure to take care of yourself, codename Cherry, if you haven't already left. Yes. Thank you so much for trusting me with your community. I changed majors so I wouldn't have to take elementary algebra, which is not what you think. Yeah, if they're soldered, it's a one-use thing. Yes, so if they're soldered like this, it isn't one-use, technically, because I can always just, like, put on pins and then take off the pins, or, like, take off the DuPont wires. What we are eventually going to do is push this outside of a breadboard into a perforated board. That is what we are currently working towards, and while we're doing that, back to trying to get a second job in high school. So I had to get into college to get the second job. So I got into college, and I had to take a test to be allowed into to college mathematics, or I'm not sure if it was elementary algebra. It was college mathematics though, right? And I went to the testing center, and they make you take like this diagnostic test, and it's supposed to be like super short, right? So it's supposed to be this super short test. My sister is like, "Oh, this is gonna take you like 15 minutes tops. Don't worry, it's not hard. You just need to get like the score and then move on." And I started taking the test, and I'm just like answering questions, and it's like 40 minutes into it, I'm still answering questions, and the test still isn't done. I go back and get another piece of paper because I'm out of room on my paper. So I keep answering questions because it's on like the computer and just gives you next question. And I keep doing it. And then like another hour passes by. My sister's like, "What's going on in there?" Because I come out and get another piece of paper. And I'm just like, "I don't know. I'm just doing questions." Anyways, so that went on for 3 hours and 30 minutes, approximately. And I still feel bad because I made my sister wait that entire time. Or, well, she ended up waiting the entire time. But yeah, so instead of getting placed in college mathematics, unfortunately I skipped that, trigonometry, and pre-calc, and then got placed into calc. So I had to take calculus instead. So I kind of took calculus before I was ready to, because I could just like backwards derive my way into answers before actually learning the math, if that makes any sense. So yes, that is why I ended up in calculus. And then oh, you just kept getting the placement questions right. Yes. Yeah, so I just kept getting the questions right, and it just like kept forcing me to go on. It was disgusting. Calculus is definitely hard. Yeah, so I like I still remember to just like Calculus 1 was brutal, man. Calculus 1 was so brutal because I didn't understand, and it was definitely the first math course that I actually had to learn how to do math, because I innately knew how to do math up to pre-calc. Hold on, we need to plug this guy in. I need the clock line and the data line. Okay. The clock line and the data line, at least. Okay, that's line number 3 and 4. Okay. Thank you for the hydration check, Boulder. And I promise we are still on the calculus line story. I just haven't gotten that far in. So anyways, I fail miserably. I don't know how integration works because it just fundamentally does not make sense to me. So like area under the curve does not make sense to me at all. I can't show my work for anything because I've never shown work before. So I just fail super hard, right? And I ended up having to retake it, okay? So I retook it in a I managed to... Did you go to office hours? Of course I went to office hours. Does area under the curve make sense to you now, or was it just then? It was just then. It makes sense now. Integrals themselves, though, still don't make sense to me entirely, but I just know how to solve them, so it is what it is. Oh, hello, Azrael. How's it going? Imagine going to office hours. No, I went to office hours for this professor. So anyways, I had to retake it during the summer. There was this old 50, 60-year-old guy who was teaching the class, and it was a knockout drag-out course. It was like 6 weeks long, and it was just like an accelerated course. So, you know, the thing to do is, if you fail calculus, you take an accelerated version of it, right? Because that will surely work out in your favor, right? Anyways, I wasn't the brightest. I wasn't the brightest noodle in the noodle house, but that's okay. So I end up barely squeaking by to the final, and I'm like essentially pass-fail on taking the course. So like my final grade, if I pass it, I will pass the class. If I fail it, I will fail the class. Essentially was what I ended up needing for the final. And I still remember this, dude. I still remember this as clear as day. As clear as day. Bro, okay. The professor was like, just because, like, he was handing out the final and, like, you know, giving his little, like, end of the year speech, right? End of the year speech out to people. He's like, you know, just because you fail this, just because you may fail this test, looking directly at me, just because you may fail this test does not mean that you are stupid, still passing it out, still looking directly at me. And I was just like, it's just like targeted. like, targeted, bro. I felt so targeted. Like, I sat in, like, the corner, too. So, like, he had to, like, turn his head to the corner. So it was obvious he was looking at me. And I was just like, ugh. Anyways, I ended up barely passing that class. I got a C-, and I moved on to Calculus 2, okay? I ended up on Calculus 2, and I'm like, okay, things are gonna change. Things are gonna change, okay? Things are gonna change. I promised myself things are gonna work out. I'm gonna be a good noodle. It's gonna go well. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for the raid, Maple. Welcome in, Raiders. I am Oriana Aura. I'm a human hybrid VTuber dolphin inventor. We are making a mechanical dice that's able to read itself whenever you roll. What were you guys up to? What were you guys up to? Welcome in, Raiders. But yes, you guys were playing Monster Hunter, no? I may or may have not been looking a bit at it before stream. You joined us in the middle of story time when I was just describing how my professor looked me directly dead in the eyes while passing out the final and said, even though some of you may fail this, does not mean you're dumb. Ori observes all. Yes, I generally try to observe as much as possible. I gotta share you some cool math. We like applied math, but I'm not applied, lol. I'm just figuring out applied stuff since it's really easy to math mode. Okay, yeah, so Calc 2. Calc 2. I'm like, things are gonna work out. Things are gonna work out. Okay, I'm gonna have a great time. I'm gonna do great. It was my first actual semester in college, so I was no longer in high school. So I'd graduated college, and I graduated college, and I was like, okay, it's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. It's gonna work out. So I get my first test back, and I thought I understood the content, right? I thought I understood the content. You know, I get my first test back, and you know how if you do bad, the professor, if you get like a B, an A, or a C, they just like hand it to you. But when you do bad, they like slide it over to you backwards. Because it's like, I don't even have the decency, or I don't want to embarrass you with this piece of garbage. So I'm going to slip it to you backwards. Just in case, you know, you might be a little embarrassed. I'm just going to slide it over. So they slided it over to me, and I'm like, okay, whatever. It's going to be fine. It's going to be fine. Totally didn't fail it. And this was my first of 3 tests. I like kind of like cut my hand a little, and I like peek it up. 34. It was a 34. I'm like, oh great. Oh great. Out of 100. Yeah, it was a 34 out of 100. 1 second, I need to get the pinouts for this. So yeah, I took an immense amount of psychic damage, and I was like, I thought I understood calculus. So I get on the struggle bus. Quite hard. I bust my butt, and next exam, I get it. I'm doing okay on the homework. Like I'm doing all right. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna ace it. He gives the test back. Pass. Comes to me. Like, gosh dang it! Not again! Not again! So I flip it over. I look at it. 54? It was a 54 or a 58. I forget which. But it was a 54 or a 58. And I was just like, okay, it's okay. I still got one more test. one more test. I still have one more test to try to pass this class, to pass the class A, even though this isn't Spanish, this is calculus 2. So I go back. And this time, I'm talking to the professor during office hours. We're chitting, we're chatting. How much is passing, by the way? A 70. So I wasn't like overly far off, right? I wasn't overly far off. Yeah, it's a positive trend line. So I go to like the professor. I'm like, hey, I really want to try, and I really want to try to pass this class. And he's like, okay, hold on. Like, I know you've been here. You've been going to all the lectures. I know you're participating in class. Let's see. So, he like, so again, I enter his office this way, and he facing me this way with his desk, but his computer's on the other side. So I just like see him like turn around and look at his computer, right? So he's just like looking at his computer. I'm like, oh, okay, maybe he can find a way I can pass. He turns back around, much like the way that he turns over the test. Much like the way that he turns over the test. And he's like, no, I think you just failed. So I'm just like, yeah, I guess that's fair. I appreciate your time. I appreciate the straightforward answer. You totally didn't haunt my dreams and make me like regret living, right? But I appreciate it, right? Like a doctor telling you that like they're not gonna give you false hope. He didn't give me false hope, and it was like even if you got 100, you wouldn't like you're not gonna get 100. I'm just like, okay, that's valid. So I retake calculus 2, and this time I do a bit better, right? I do end up getting a B plus or whatever. I do end up getting a B plus. And I fought tooth and nail, by the way, for this B plus. I fought tooth and nail, okay? Like, during one of the tests, my glasses literally, like, exploded on me. Hold on, I can't see at all right now, so apologies. But my glasses literally exploded on me. And, like, both frames broke, and I literally took a singular lens. I took a singular lens because I couldn't read. I couldn't read, like, without it. And I used it as, like, a spyglass to fill out the test because I couldn't see. It wasn't even a monocle. It was like, how did your glasses explode? I don't know. They just exploded. They just exploded. But yeah, I was in the trenches, okay? I was grinding. I was grinding, bro. I was grinding. But yeah, it's nice to know Ori is a human. Yes, it is. It's nice to know that I'm a human, I suppose. Yeah, so anyways, as I was driving home, like, I distinctly remember, too, as I was, like, driving home from the test, I had to, like, rig up a way for me to look because I have to wear glasses while I'm driving. So I ended up, like, getting, like, rubber bands. Sorry. I ended up getting, like, rubber bands and not toilet paper, but paper towel from the bathroom. Like, you know that, like, cheap cardboard paper towel, like this type of paper towel, except it's, like, a little thicker and stuff? So I made, like, just, like, a terrible version of glasses based on this. And I just remember, like, I was just, like, driving by, and you know, like, when two cars pull up? You know, when two cars pull up at a stoplight? When two cars pull up at a stoplight, so, like, the car just, like, pulls up. The dude just, like, looks over at me. I look over at him. He just loses his heckin' marbles and just, like, busts out laughing. So you're... That's okay. Okay, it's okay. Hard to believe you only had a couple of dates at this rate. What? I don't get it. Maybe I should keep them at the way to avoid the trauma. No, it's okay. So, Calculus 3 comes by, and I'm like, you know what? I really got this. I'm gonna do my best. I'm gonna grind. I know how to grind now. I'm great. First test. First test. First test. The classic. You didn't do well. Sign. Got my test back. Yeah. I failed again. Yeah, so I failed again. I go to office hours every week. I bust my hump. I try to get it. I try, guys. I still end up failing that class as well. So I take it a third time, I get an A. Or not a third time, I take it a second time and I get an A. How do office hours work? No way. What do you mean, no way? I pretty much, what did you have issues with? Jacobians? Jacobians? Why am I thinking Jacobians? I think Jacobians. Anyways, I need to pull open this real quick. Second time's the charm. Yeah, so second time's the charm in Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Calculus 3. And that's okay. You know, sometimes you have to fail. Sometimes you must fail multiple times to be successful. Jacobian is a rate of change matrix. Because it's the change of variable thing converting the differential from one coordinate system to another. Yeah, so those type of problems honestly don't come up in my life that often. So luckily, I'm not hugely messed up by it. You're just reinforcing my decision to drop out of college. Listen, okay. I am nothing if not persistent, okay? You can fail me once, I'll take it again. You can fail me again, I'll take it again. You can fail me a third time, I'll debate my life decisions up until this point, but I'll take it again, gosh darn it. And I will pass. Okay? That's how I live life. Okay, anyways. I need this image. Apologies. I need this. Here? Okay, yeah. Yeah, that's correct. Okay, hydrate. Yes. I knew you were a kindred spirit. Exactly, dude. Also, my professors always thought I was doing, like, so well. Like, my professors always thought I was doing, like, so well in the class, and then they would, like, because I struggled with every single class, basically, that I took, in one way or another. And they would always be like, oh, yeah, you want to be a TA next semester? Are you coming to, like, oh, are you on the boundary for A? No, it's always me just, like, dragging my butt across the finish line and getting a C. Okay, anyways. So we are going to need to use D1 and D2 on this guy. So if we're taking a look at this diagram, we need to use both the clock line and the data line. So that is in the top right-hand corner. So this is required for I2C communication. So we have our clock line and our data line. So that's what we are going to get connected. But yes. Looking like you know what you're doing can be a very valuable skill one day. And it should be the clock line is on top. Yeah, the clock line is on top, the data line's on bottom. Clock is on top, and that's blue. But yes, so that is my story about me managing to fail Calculus 1, Calculus 2, and Calculus 3. I know that some of you may be jealous. And that's fine. That's fair. That's fair. But, you know, remember, you too can become a VTuber. Okay, anywho. Got this guy connected. Let's go ahead and reprogram this guy with the proper code. Oh, hey, Oval! Welcome in, Oval. Hi, hi. Panic, fail every class, and become a VTuber. It's over. Yes. Well, I ultimately did pass the class, and I ultimately did graduate. It was just a little rough. Okay. So you can see this guy turned on red whenever we give it power. We are going to give it an example or a example code that we have and see if it's working. We are going to. I really wonder what changed for you not. I really wonder what could have changed for you to not fail anything. Calculus 1, I just wasn't ready. Calculus 1, I just wasn't ready. Calculus 2, I think the professor is bad. Like, the first professor was just, like, legitimately bad at their work, in my opinion. Calculus 3, I have no excuse. I should have passed Calculus 3. Because the professor, like, had his own, like, website with helpful information and stuff. And he was a gamer. I wanted to do well for him. I wanted to do well. He was a nice guy. And I still failed. But that's okay. Sometimes you aren't successful. So yeah, I really shouldn't have failed Calculus 3. But I did. It was just hard for me to get my head around. He was a gamer. Yeah, he even had, like, game suggestions on his website. So he had, like, practice quizzes, practice tests, explanations of the material, the lectures. And then also he had, like, a side suggestion of, like, oh, here's the games I'm playing. And here's, like, what you should be doing. I would say his name, but then you guys can, like, backwards derive. I think he was playing, like, Ori and the Blind Forest, like, Undertale, like, he was playing, like, a bunch of indie games. Bunch of indie games. Calculus 2 taught me never to take an 8 a.m. math class. That is fair. Backwards derive, you mean integrate. Ready? I will punch you out the door. I will punch you out the door. I will punch you out the door. Never drink and derive. We go with painful jokes here, apparently. You know, whenever I make a pun, it's hilarious. Okay, whenever I make a pun or a funny, like, haha, play on words joke, it's funny and unique, okay? Whenever you do it, you know how it is. Alright, let me see if I can get open our code. We are looking at our accelerometer code. Whenever I make a joke, it goes over Ori's head. Yeah, the only jokes that I can actually get are pun-based jokes. Later. Okay, so here's the MPU example code. So the way that this guy works is that we set up our includes. So we have our headers here. Then we start a serial connection, get it running and tested. We make sure that we're able to find the chip. We set up our range, our degree, and our band. And then what we are going to be reading is we will then look at the acceleration in the x-axis, y-axis, and z-axis. This also does have the capability of giving temperature out, but we don't need temperature out here. So let's go and see if this guy is working. So we are just going to go ahead and reprogram this. Then we are going to check our other device. After we get this guy working, what we will probably do is we will take a brief second and then dive into the 3D modeling. This project probably won't finish today. By a probably, it's not going to. Thank you, Allied Broom. Allied Broom. I'm sorry, I didn't realize your name till just now. Why Allied Broom? I feel like I need a slight explanation on your name, if it's okay. Anyways, it is a resetting. We're modeling in Blender. No, we're modeling in FreeCAD. I'm sorry, did I say Blender? Apologies. Alright, so uploaded. Let's go ahead and check. Looks like it failed to find the chip, which is just dandelions. This does not fill me with great confidence. One sec, let's try the other chip real quick. See if it's an issue with the board, or if it's an issue with diagnosis skill. Where did I put it? This is why you guys need to keep a clean desk, guys. If you guys keep a clean desk, you won't have to look for components like me midstream. Then it won't be cringe. Okay, so we're still getting a failed on both devices. Did you ever burn yourself while soldering, Ori? Yes, I have most certainly burned myself several times while soldering. That's a fact of life, though. Not a big deal. Okay, so it looks like we have a slight issue here. I'm going to double check that it's not a voltage issue. So we are just going to go ahead and we're going to supply it a proper amount of voltage, which is 5 volts. I'm pretty sure it's operational though in 3.3 volts. But we could check the datasheet and figure it out in a minute or two if this doesn't work. Okay. And yes, it most certainly is an oxymoron remixed. It most certainly is an oxymoron. I'm not going to dignify that with reading it, Alpha. Or Alf. Oh, thank you so much for subscribing, Miker. I hope you have a good time for however long you are here. It's not necessary, but it's always appreciated. I hope you have a good time. I hope you have a good time. If not, I'm sorry. Alpha. I'm sorry. Okay, to be fair, Alif. Alf. Alif. Mew. I could just call you Mew. Alif. His channel name is Alpha now. No turning back. I mean, okay. Is that an MPU 65 or 65? 6050? Yes, it is. It is an MPU 6050. Okay, real quick. Just gonna do this, and then you. And blue is on clock. And it's going to be an interesting stream with a lot of movement. Yes. Okay, let's go ahead and see if it is properly recognizing it now. Uh-oh. Signs point to no. Also, yeah, if you have both, then isn't that just a mismatch in the baud rate? So it would normally indicate that, yes, to absolute 0, but if you look over here, I will show you after it's done resolving. It is not a mismatch in the baud rate. Typically, whenever you get jumbled up characters like that, that is the correct assumption. However, we are just, it's still printing out that it failed to get it. So it's not necessarily a baud rateism. It's just whenever I reset the device, it's not properly communicating it over. But yes, that would usually be the case. One second. I'm going to try switching up both of these. Okay, that's not good. Brownout? It could be brownout. I don't think it is, but it could be. Real quick, what I am going to do... I'm so misunderstood. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Give me just 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick break, like 30 seconds to a minute. I'll be right back. Okay. Apologies. Or topologies. Oh. I just had to scream a bit into the void and try to figure out what's wrong. I came to the conclusion that I need to check my devices, so give me a second. Okay. Also, is the camera quality okay? Hold on. I think it is. Okay. Definitely not that. Okay. So, I did grab a separate set of devices. I kind of just want to double check that it's not an issue with the device. I can see the soul of the silicon die. That's good. I wish I could see a soul, but the only thing I can see is my clinical happiness. Okie dokie artichokes. Let's get this guy connected and squared away. First, I want to double check. I'm also going to go cortisol level high. That's okay. My cortisol levels are always high. What am I looking at? I need to check the MPU datasheet real quick. MPU 650. Honestly, it should be fine on 3.3 volts. Yeah, it's fine with 3.3 volts. Okay, so it's not an issue with the voltage input. I was just consulting with the oracles real quick. Let's go ahead and reprogram it one more time. Get this disconnected. Whoop. 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 Okie dokie. Oh, hi there. Hey, Lord Root, how's it going? We are going to go ahead and get this guy compiling and running. Hopefully all is going a-okay with you. All is going pretty a-okay with me. Okay, so code is looking good up. Join the citric acid placebo code. Proven to maybe potentially placebo-ly lower your cortisol levels. Nice. Yeah, I'm trying to join that club if I'm not already in that club. I have tasks and other things to do. I'll see if I return. Don't let me explode again. Have fun. Alright, see you later. And also, hello, Magumane. Magumane? Okay. Compilation. Compilation's fine. Why citric acid of all things? I think it's just orange juice... sorry. I think it's just orange juice to prevent burnout, right? I'm going to double check the serial monitor. No line ending. Honestly, it doesn't matter. Okay, that's expected. Let's go ahead and get this guy attached. It could also be our chip that is wrong. I don't think that's the case. But it could be the chip that is having issues as well. I don't think that's... Again, I don't think that's the case. That's like the least likely opportunity here. Okay, we're still getting the failed to find chip. Let's go ahead and try a different board. So I'm going to try a known working one real quick. So I'm essentially swapping out with a known working. And if that doesn't work, well then I suppose we're in a little trouble. But we'll cross that bridge when we get there. We shall get there when we get there. Uh-oh. 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 Okay. Hello, what is happening here? We are currently trying to make some mechanical dice that are able to self-read what they are. It appears that we have ran into a ever so slightly small issue of broken hardware, which is fairly rare, especially for on arrival. And I am just going to inspect. Hope you have a good time for however long you are here, Eric T. Beast. Okay, so looks like we do have a problem. I'm going to inspect our two parts that we just recently made. Honestly, Okay, so what I'm going to look for is if there are any... The thing that I'm currently looking for is if the joints themselves are connecting anywhere or touching anywhere. I don't see that immediately. So I don't see anything necessarily wrong with how we soldered it. I don't see anything wrong with how we soldered it. Also, you guys can... Don't look at my nail too closely. Okay. Yeah, I don't... Honestly, I don't see an issue with that. They're not even messy. Okay, let's go ahead and check the other one as well. This one is a bit worse. But still, it shouldn't have failed. Again, we are only looking at our top 4 pins here. Those joints all look fine. Yeah. We could have dead hardware on arrival. That's fairly rare, though. Cables? No, because we use the same cables. Let's just... double check, I suppose. That is slightly bothersome. It could be poor contact, though I don't think that's the issue. Let's go ahead and see if we get an output. So again, this guy is working. It's previously soldered when the other two are not having, or are having issues. So I'd like to investigate those. And this is important whenever you're working with hardware. Do you have a scope or a logic analyzer handy? No, I don't. I can already tell you this chip isn't working. Poor contact? I didn't contact any port. Okay. You're so funny and quirky. Sometimes I wish I could be as funny and quirky as y'all, but I can't. Okay, well, maybe they are DOA? That's pretty rare. It's pretty rare for chips to be DOA. I kind of have a hard time believing that these chips are just dead on arrival. That happens with cheaper tech, but that doesn't typically happen with... I guess this is a cheap piece of tech. Okay, so this one's working. This one's also... Yeah, this one's also working. They're less than $3 per board, right? Yes, they are. I don't recall how much they are each, but they aren't expensive per board. It's more of an annoyance that it's not working. I'm essentially wondering if I did something wrong in the soldering process since both of the new ones were broke. Just going to do one more inspection if I see anything. If not, we'll just move on. Onwards and upwards if things don't... Things don't tend to improve. Ah, yeah. No, it is DOA. Darn it. Okay, MTG Live. Hey, MTG Live, how's it going? Okay, so we do have an issue. So, these two are the ones that are working. These two are not the ones that are working. Can anyone tell me the difference? Yeah, you are correct. It is this component here. I wonder if we can fix it. Do you guys want to try fixing it? It's a slight, it can make your speedrun go Bert. I'm kind of wondering what it is, but, yeah, so this little guy here is unfortunately broken, so A106 is broken. Void warranty, let's go. I know there probably isn't a warranty, but still. Apologies. I got this. If you Sharpie it black, the other one should work. Isn't that a tantalum calp? How do you break that? That's the only fundamental difference here. It's probably a manufacturing error. Hold on. Okay, I actually kind of have an eye for this. Give me a second. I might be able to actually tell you if this is an issue. Okay, hold on. Resistor, resistor, resistor. Cap. This would be better. Do you have a multimeter? Yes, I have a multimeter. Cap, resistor. Value cap. E07, AD0. And then I need... Hold on. Ah. Because the filter cap needed the MPU to be 1 microfarad, but the cap looks more like a nanofarad. Hold on. A7A. Okay, so this guy says A7A on the writing here. On this black writing across, it says A7A. Meanwhile, this guy says A106. Let's go ahead and check and see if they're the same components. Give me a second. So, A106. A106. A106 capacitor. So right now I'm just looking at passive components. I'm looking for the closest one. A106. A106. A106 capacitor surface mount component. Okay, it looks like this is a 10 microfarad. Okay. 106 is 1 microfarad. Where are you getting the 1 microfarad value from? Because the closest matching thing I'm seeing is 10 microfarads. In fact, I'm only seeing 10 microfarads. Let me look up the other one as well. You know, if SparksMaker was here right now, he would be able to tell us what might be going on here. A7A. Okay, so we need an A7A. A7A surface mount capacitor. Also 10 microfarad. Okay, it could be a bad component. If SparkMakers was with us, he would still forget the semicolon. Yeah, that's correct. That's not correct, but that might be the case. Self-affirmation, we are a good engineer at doing our work, and we are going to either get this working or figure out why it did not work. The most likely case is that it just has a bad component. I want to figure it out, though. Apologies. All the components look attached. let me make sure all the other surface mounts. Sorry, I won't be able to like examine it super closely on cam. Or well, I can like leave these both open. But I need this for a second. Who manufactured UC? I'm not sure. Okay. So what I'm looking at is I am looking at our values on the resistors as well to make sure that they are correct. So each of the little the black resistors across the center here have values associated with them. And I'm just reading the writing on them to make sure it's fine. And they both look the same to me. I don't see any lifting on the caps either. Honestly, it could just be a bad chip. Okay. So what I'm going to do, we are going to do a little bit of destructive testing. I'm going to go ahead and take the cap off of this guy and see if I can see anything of interest. Chip core incoming. Yeah, chip core incoming. Okay. Let's see if I have a 10 microfarad capacitor that I could put and attach to it. Give me a second. It's rough out here in the streets. Listen, I was raised on the streets, okay? I was raised on the streets, okay? Sesame Street. But it's still a street, you know? Where are my caps? Where are the caps? Where are the caps? Where are the caps? I know I have caps somewhere. I can't argue with that. No cap. Yeah, exactly. No cap. Ah, there it is. Okay, we need a 10 microfarad capacitor. At this point, I just want to see if I can get it working. Need a 10 microfarad cap. Okay. I'm just going to use one of these caps down here. So we're going to use a 10 microfarad capacitor, get it resoldered up, and see if that works. I'm not expecting it to work, by the way, guys. I'm literally just doing the equivalent of, ooh, me monkey brain, see that pattern no work. So surely that's the issue. It'd be cool if it did, though. Yeah, it would be cool if it did. It would definitely mark... I don't know. It would kind of mark an improvement in our technical skill. .7. Uh, 10 microfarads. I have to go. Have a nice stream. Thank you. I hope you have a nice time doing with whatever you are working on. Guys, we have a problem. We have a secondary issue. What is the negative and what is the positive here? For the cap. Use a ceramic cap. Then it doesn't matter. Okay, give me a second. You're correct, but let me see if I have a ceramic cap that has that value. That would be in here. Oh my gosh, I haven't used the little Babby kits in so long. Where's my little Babby kit? Ah, there it is. Let's see, I need a 10. Unfortunately, I don't think I have one. Yeah, I don't have one. I do not have one. Okay. Checking. I'm going to learn so much electronics I didn't even learn with my degree. One of the squares has a plus. Does it? Hold on. Whoop. 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 Focus. I don't think one of the squares has a plus, does it? Behind the solder. Okay, give me a second. For that, I would need solder wick. Just test one pad and touch to ground. Oh yeah, that's a good idea. See, that's a good idea right there. IDK, bro. I'm a type B chatter. I'm not built for this. Wait, what's a type B? What's a type B chatter? What is that even supposed to mean, dude? Okay, I think that means continuity. Yeah, that means continuity. Type A is backseating. I do like backseating. It's just... Dude, you're a genius! Oh my gosh, that is a nice... That is... Very good job. Plus 1 point for, plus 1 point. Okay, so... The right side is... So the right side is negative to positive. Wait, you've never tried that before? I just didn't think of it. I don't want to mess this up. It goes from negative to positive, right? Wait. I'm just gonna double check that real quick. Which end of a capacitor? Negative lead. Okay. Negative lead is shorter. Okay. Like this. Okay. Let's go ahead and get this guy soldered. Okay. We got this, guys. We got this, guys. We're totally gonna fix our like... We're totally gonna fix our part right now. And also, the labor that we have expended, the labor that we are using on this is far more. Is certainly far more than the cost of this part. Like, if I was billing my labor on this, like... Ripperoni. But the learning experience is priceless, I suppose. Billable hours lead. Billable hours is a path that leads to madness and regret. That is true. This is why you bill less for apprentices. I don't know. Everything is so expensive now. Oh, thank you, MTG Live. Wait, do you play Magic the Gathering live? Or what? What's the MG stand for? Okay. Bigger the blob, the better the job. MG comes from my surname, but yes, I do play Magic. I'm bad at it. Okay. Okay, let's give it a try. Do you guys think it's gonna work? Yes or no? It's not the cleanest. But they are definitely connected. Your reels are so fun for me to watch, but for me it's hard to watch your stream because it's too early in the morning in India. It's 5:40 right now. Oh, okay. Gamba? You guys want a Gamba? Okay. I think I'm not gonna sway Gamba. I'm not going to sway the Gamblers. Gamba or prediction. Okay, we'll do a quick prediction. Will it work? Yes. No. I donate points to others. Okay, you guys have a minute to vote. I don't want this to drag on too long. Are these chips going to be moved around? Yes, they are. We aren't probably going to use this chip if that is the case. Though, I mean, it is soldered in place. Like, realistically, I could just, like, fold it back on itself and probably not run into too many issues. You guys got a minute, though. Predict. Voting no not because the repair job. But yeah, the balance of the die. Oh. Yeah, I'm not hugely worried about the balance of the die at the moment, Mego. Blueless clock. Apply epoxy until balance is achieved. Curious to see how you guys voted. Okay. Okay, people, say something. I need you to... I want to see how you guys voted. I want to see how you guys voted. Megu says yes. How does the... What do the rest of you guys think? Also, I'm going to power this using batteries. I forgot I'm new here and I spent too much. Oh. I only put 10 points in. Okay. Real quick, I'm going to make sure that it just doesn't smoke off, so I'm going to apply external power so it's not connected directly. Okay, it's not blowing up. That's a good sign. Hey, Shinsa. How's it going? Posture's good. Thank you for checking. Hopefully all is going well. If I was participating in Gambas, I would have guessed that it's working. I think that that is unfortunately wrong. Hello there. I don't know enough to make a prediction. That's okay. Neither do I. It didn't blow up, which is nice. And the answer is... it's broken. Yeah, it's probably a DOA chip. That's unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Okay. Not a single person voted 3, by the way. I'm disappointed in you guys. But yes, it is broken. It is a broken chip, unfortunately. Wow, it was a 50-50. Will it work? No. That sparks the slot. I win. Yeah, congrats people who made points. So what we are going to do is I'm going to just throw these guys out, unfortunately. Is there anything else that we can check? Because I don't think these little components... I don't believe the components... Whoop, whoop, whoop. I don't believe these components can be placed improperly. Like, resistors can't be placed... like... resistors can't be placed incorrectly in orientation. And I don't believe these can either. Touch the voltage regulator to see if it's warm. Yeah, resistors don't care. And then I don't believe the ceramic ones care either. As Gideoneer was saying. Okay, anywho. What we are going to do is I'm going to take these guys away. Just so I don't accidentally use them in a future experiment. So I need to throw these guys in the trasherino. And what we need to do is we need to get this mounted. So we do have 2 working ones here from previous experiments. We are just going to use these. So we did confirm that these 2 are working. So what we are going to do is now port these guys onto some perforated board. Instead of just mounting them directly. The reason why we are using perforated board is because I said so. So let's get that going. Okay, so we have a few different options for sizes. Probably just going to go with this size. None of these are internally connected. We'll connect them ourselves. We probably don't need something this size, so we are probably going to cut it in half. Again, you are supposed to scratch and score these to cut them, but we don't do that here because we have a mild case of severe brain damage. You know, we haven't seen the tool in a while. When was the last time we used our tool? Now that I think about it, I don't think we've used it in a long while. Got headers as well? Yes, we have headers. The Mystery Mousca Yes, the Mystery Mousca Our favorite tool. You guys know the tool. You guys love the tool. I'm on the floor looking for the tool because I don't see the tool. Usually it's right here. Wait, where's the tool? Wait, where's the Mystery Mousca I need that. Is it on the desk? How did you lose 2 of them? Listen, I'm a special noodle. What's weird is one's blue and one's black, so it's kind of hard to lose track of them. And plus it would have been loud if it, like, fell over in a place it's not supposed to be. Are we actually gonna have to do it properly? We're gonna have to do it properly. Hello, Skull. How's it going, Skull Matt? Wait, that's illegal. I know. I know, Ty, but I don't see it, so I unfortunately have to do it the proper way. Okay, so I guess I'll do it the proper way. Close your eyes. Skull meat. I don't want to do it the proper way. I don't want to do it the proper way. What would be the improper way? The improper way is to use pipe cutters, and I love using pipe cutters because, you know, they're pipe cutters. They're cutters of pipe. Seriously? Seriously? That's okay. I'll find a different way to mess this up. I really don't want to use... If you're aware of it? No, I'm not aware of the name, at least. I don't think that's gonna work. Seriously, I need the tool. I actually need the tool. Whatever. You have a clamp, right? Yeah, I have a clamp. I don't know where it is, but I have a clamp. I have many clamps. One second. You know, maybe I should just uninstall. I can't believe I had to do it the proper way. You guys don't know how sad I am that I had to scratch and score it to cut it. Like, you guys don't know the amount of psychic damage I just took. I just took, like, D6 psychic damage. How professional. I know, right? Hold on. I just took D6. I took a 2. Okay. That's not that bad. Okay. So, what we essentially need to do is we need to mount this guy in such a way that we're able to use it. The reason why we are mounting it to a perforated board is because we don't want the board to jostle around everywhere. So the idea is that I'm going to have it on one side like this. We are going to... Gosh, are we going to connect like this? What is the actual best way of mounting this? We probably just solder it to the board and then move from there. Let's do that. Okay, let's go ahead and solder it to the board and move forward from there. I think a 3 extra row should be fine. I'm going to put it 1 row down just in case we need an extra row to play with. Okay. This one will be easier if we can hold it in place and solder it. Okay, let's get this guy working. Again, this is... Actually, is this the first time that we've tried to ruggedize something? Like, this isn't ruggedized, obviously. But is this the first time that we've tried to, like, make something not instantaneously break? Honestly, I think it might just be easier to have it on the ground. Yeah, this is a new experience for us. Wow, how exciting. It's not every day that you guys get to see... Ooh. Are you sure you want to solder to the board directly and not use a header? Am I sure that I want to solder directly to the board and not use a header? One second. Let me see if I have what I think I need for this. Give me 1 second. Absolute Zero, I know what you're talking about, and what you're talking about makes more sense. I don't think I have the tool, though. Yeah, I don't have the tool. So you're talking about the header pins that have the, instead of, like, pins coming out here, they're just slots for DuPont, right? Yeah, input pins. Yeah, I thought I had them, but apparently I don't. Okay. Well, Onwards and upwards. Onwards and upwards. You can only do so much about broken hardware. We'll pray for your continued success. I appreciate that. There's no reason why this shouldn't just work. What camera are you using, by the way? It is in the description below. I believe it's a Sony... It is a Sony ZV-4. Good camera. What's suggested out of 10? Hold on. ZV-10? Yes. 1 second. Let me see if I can get you guys a picture of it. Let me see if I can fit the camera in the shot. One second. I want to try to get the camera so you guys can see what it looks like. Okay. Yeah, so the camera that we're using for this is here. Yep. Through the power of buying 2 of them. Backup cam? Yes, I have backups of everything, generally. Except for when you lose, like, 2 things, like a tool. Like, if you lost, I don't know, 2 pipe cutters at the same time, even though they're definitely in your lab somewhere, you just can't find them. And you know you're going to find them immediately after stream. But yes, I do have a backup cam. Theoretically, it's in case we ever do things that don't require the desk. So for the battle robots, for example, the 2 cameras were useful. Okay, there we go. We have our... Let us continue onwards. You went from dual-wielding pipe cutters to scratch and scour. Yeah, I know, right? It's rough out here for a player. Or are you gonna actually clean after work? No. Yeah, if you're talking about after stream, no, I'm not. You know why. You know why I'm not going to, right, Pokemon? You know what I have to do after this? You know what I have to do after this? You know what I have to do? Content, exactly. So I think I can just hold this. But I do know what I'm making already today. It is going to be a silly one. I'm gonna be a silly little guy tonight. We're gonna make some silly little content. Okay. Then come up with a second thing and build a backlog, no you. How about you come up with a backlog for me, Gideoneer? Sure. Okay. I'm listening. If you have any ideas. Also, guys, if there's anything you guys want, Like, if you guys want, like, a short made out of anything, feel free to suggest something. I am more than happy to make something. Don't tempt me. Okay, I won't. The stream with Avo has so many free clips. What was the best WoW class and why is it Shadow Priest? I don't think Shadow Priest was ever the best class. Maybe in Shadowlands, super early. Okay, it's mounted. Hold on, one of the pins is not fully attached. Okay, better. Okie dokie. Let's go ahead and do the other one as well. Again, I'm just making 2 just in case we brick one. Because it is better to be safe than sorry on this type of stuff. That's what this looks like, and then we want to make it identical. Something like this. Considering educational shorts are a topic 101, I feel like throwing a dart at STEM Wikipedia page would easily give dozens of ideas. So keep in mind, Gideoneer, that I try to make sure that I actually have technical depth on every single topic that I discuss. So whenever I choose a topic, it is a topic that I believe I know more than the average, like, dolphin. So it has to be something... It has to be, like, something along those lines. Like, I have to have some confidence that it's not just, here I randomed an article and looked it up for 2 hours to tell you guys the answer. It is something that I should already know well. No acoustic non-linearities. Oh. Okay. Thank you so much for following NL Hans. I hope you have a good time for however long you are here. Okay, let's get this guy soldered. And it looks like we will probably have to, we'll probably have to continue with this guy on Wednesday. Though we aren't done quite yet. Source? I mean, it makes sense, right, Gideoneer? Because, like, the wire has to travel a longer distance. The eye to brain wire? I mean the body as well, right? Oh, no. Uh-oh. 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 Hold on, we have an issue. We have an issue. No solder pump? Why would I have a solder pump? Why would it? How would I have a solder pump? Do you have copper braid? Luckily these pins are unimportant, but I do have copper braid. It's just a cool copper braid that doesn't go to this school, okay? Listen, it's just a cool copper braid that doesn't go to this school. Anyways, I separated them. I just need to be more careful in the future. That was kind of a pain, but I did get them separated. That was my bad for bridging them in the first place, though. I shouldn't have bridged them. I say that as I nearly immediately bridge another one. Looks good, looks good, looks good, looks good. Looks good. Okay, there we go. Not the cleanest, but that will do for now. Let's go ahead and double check that they are still working, and then after that, I think we will call it there. So we have VCC on the top. Of course, this isn't going to be our final solution here. This is just a temporary check. Obviously, these aren't, like, connected or stabilized. But I do just need to check them. Okay. So first one, we can see our output is looking a-okay. This was the one that we didn't have any issues with soldering, so that's not super surprising. Second one, let's go ahead and get attached. This one we did have a bit more issues getting attached and everything working, so if there is damage, this would be the one it's on. When your wick goes to another school. Yep. Listen, sometimes the wick has to go to another school, okay? It's cool, it doesn't go here. It doesn't go here, okay? Meat Spud. Hello, Meat Spud. Wait, that's a different Meat Spud. Hello, different Meat Spud. How's it going? Okay, let's get this guy attached. Okay, and you guys can also see that it is also working Okay, yeah, it is also working correctly. Okay, yeah, so it is looking absolutely dandelions. Okay, so both boards are soldered correctly, still working. Oh, hey, Ori, it's going good. I'm a bit sick right now. How are you? I'm doing just dandelions. Oh, wait, yeah. We've collabed together, I'm pretty sure, with, someone's birthday collab. Was it Otako's? Was it Otako's birthday collab? I want to say we collabed with Otako's birthday collab. But yes. Yeah, I love Otako. I love Otako. Anyways, Dale and Dawson. Yeah, it was that. So that leaves us in a pretty okay starting place, for next stream. So what we are going to do next stream is we are going to be 3D modeling our dice for this. So we need to make a dice that's able to hold this and our microcontroller. And get that up and running and printing. So that is probably going to take us a little bit of time. But for now, I have a question for you all, which is the same question I ask at the end of every stream, is who would you guys like to raid? And also, I did want to once again thank everyone for being here. It is Omega appreciated. It is Omega appreciated. I will wait until you guys come to a agreement on something. We will just make a little dicey guy. Our raid message will be, I don't know, fair dice. Hold on. I'm writing the comment. I'm writing the comment. It looks like you guys are generally agreeing on Avo. Okay. Or not Avo, sorry. My brain's always on Avo. Not actually, but you mean Otako, yes. Okay. This looks so cool. What are you making? So we are making a mechanically self-reading dice by a combination of using an MPU 6050 connected to the microcontroller to essentially tell you what orientation the dice is. And we are going to go ahead and raid out to Otako. And I hope that you guys were able to have a good time today. I will be in the Discord briefly after stream. If Noi, I hope you guys have a good afternoon, evening, and night wherever you are. And yeah, again, I really do want to thank you guys all for being here. It's Omega appreciated. Okay, cool. See ya.